Hey everyone, Jeffrey Way here. Welcome to a new edition of RegEx for Dummies, day 5, I believe. So we're going to work on a little scraping project today. Before we begin, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to our RSS feed. It'll allow us to spend a lot more money on writers to give you more videos, more tutorials, more freebies, lots of fun stuff like that. So if you're interested, please subscribe to our RSS feed or follow us at Twitter/ThemeForest and Twitter/NetTuts. Okay, let's get into it. What is our project going to be? What I want you to do is see if you can figure out, pick a random site. I'm just going to use NetTuts for an example. And do you think there is a way that you can access a certain site with PHP, use regular expressions to extract every single anchor tag from that page and display it on a blank page with just a list of links? You need to use PHP and regular expressions to accomplish this. So if you want, why don't you pause the video right now and see if you can figure out how to do it. If you do get it finished, leave a comment and paste in your code because it'll be fun to compare notes. So I'm going to be doing this without any notes, and I think this will be kind of a good project so you can see if I make mistakes, you'll be able to see me work through them. So I have created in my htdocs folder, I've created this folder and a blank page called test. So let's open this up with Espresso. That's fine. And let's get started. We're not going to be using any JavaScript, and we don't need that div. That's all we need. All right. So if you want, go ahead and pause. Try to do it on your own. If you don't know how to do it, let's get started. We're going to use a PHP function called file get contents. So we'll do file get contents. And within here, we can paste in a URL. So net.tutsplus.com. And we need to make this equal to a variable. So we'll do something like nt for nettuts. By the way, there's a whole debate on whether this is an ethical thing to do, scraping. I'm not going to go into that, but it's definitely something we can talk about in the comments if you like. So let me go up to language and make sure PHP HTML is turned on. Okay. So now we've set that equal to a variable. Believe it or not, we could actually echo out this. So let's go to Firefox, browse to our page. It's localhost, and I believe I called it test. And you can see here that alone, I'm on my local server, but it's grabs the entire contents of our page. So you see a lot of spam sites will do this, where they pretty much go into it listens for when a new posting is made. It grabs and scrapes all of the contents of that page and displays it on their own website. For instance, it happened just today. I released this crash course WordPress plugin in development, and literally about 2 or 3 minutes after the posting was made, this guy informed me that this terrible site, CSS Scoop, already stole it. And this is literally 2 or 3 minutes after. So it's something you really need to worry about. But that's a discussion for another time. So I'm going to go back. And we are on our local host. So how can we search through this document, grab all of the anchor tags, and display them on the page? The practicality of this, I don't know. It's just a fun little project. So let's get rid of this echo. And we need to use a regular expression. We'll start by doing a PHP function called preg_match_all. Now, it accepts about 4 or 5 parameters. We will only use 3. The first one is going to be the string or the regular expression. The second parameter is going to be the subject. What are we searching through? And the third one is going to be a variable that will be an array for anything that is matched. Okay? So let's get started. We're going to search through nt, that variable that contains the NetTuts website. And the third one, we'll call this array matches, and that's where each matched item will occur. So we are going to search through, basically we're searching through the source code right here. We're going to search through all there, and it's going to search for this anchor tag. Let's see if we can find one. It's going to search for something like this. Okay? So let's come on back and begin. Now, I wish I had notes for this, but I think we'll be okay. We start with a opening bracket, and we do a space represented by \s, and then it may not necessarily go directly to href. So it may not always be like that. Sometimes it'll be a ID equals something, then href. So we need to compensate for that. So before that, why don't we do, within a character class, let's do caret, and then closing bracket, and then star. Now, I'm not sure if I've gone over what a caret means when it's inside these brackets. Basically, when it's inside a character class, it means not. So I'm saying star means 0 or more of the preceding character. So we are saying find 0 or more of any character that is not a closing bracket. Okay. But 0 or more, that means we will allow for if this ID or any other attribute is declared, but it could also be 0, meaning it goes straight to href. All right, then we have href equals, and this can be another string of characters, so let's do it like this. Once again, anything that is not, and we'll say not the closing quote. So we'll say anything, allow any characters that's not a closing quote, because we know when we get there, it's the end of the href, right? So we need to do plus for 1 or more, because there has to be an href value, so we won't use star. And then, what else? I think that might be fine, and then close it off. Actually, no, we can take that one off, because remember, we don't have to match the entire tag. All we need to do is find enough to grab the href value. So we have A, and then anything that might come before href, then href equals, and then any character, 1 or more, and then our closing quote for that. Yeah, I think that works. Now, there's another thing I need to show you. Matches. The way well, let's just go through this together. It's a little hard to explain. Matches is going to store an array. So if we were to echo out like matches 0, that's going to store the entire match. But it also stores like submatches. So if I were to do 1, that's going to store anything that's wrapped in parentheses. So for instance, if we want to grab only the value within this href, we could go href equals, and then I'm going to wrap a parentheses around this one and close it out after the plus. So now the contents of anything right here will be the exact value of whatever is in the anchor tag. So that will be stored in matches 1. So let's do something now. Like I said, I'm thinking off the top of my head. Let's do a for each statement. So for each matches as m. We're using the shorthand here, and for each. And what we need to do here is actually matches 1. Because remember, I said the 0 would refer to the entire thing that was matched. So it would return the entire tag, the opening bracket, but all we want is the value. So we'll do matches 1. And for each one of those, it'll be stored in a temporary variable called m. And then we will create an anchor tags. And the href is going to be whatever that value is. So we will do echo m. And then the value will also do the same thing. So php echo m. And then let's also add a break tag. I think that should be good. Let's come back, refresh the page. And if it's ever blank like so, you know you probably made a mistake in your regular expression, and I probably did. So let's go back and see what I did. The first thing right off the bat is I want to add an I to the end, because that way users can type something like a href equals or a href equals, and it'll still match. Okay, so that's important. Let's see what else. Yeah, that regular expression looks good. PHP for each matches 1 as. Oh yeah, we're using the shorthand. We need to use a colon there. I wonder if that will fix it. The fun of not having notes. Give me just a moment. Oh, okay, yeah, it did work. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had no idea why it wasn't showing up before. Yeah, we've changed nothing. But now if we refresh the page, yeah, it is showing. So, weird. But now if we go view source, you can see we have our anchor tag, and we have every single NetTouch link that was on that home page. So you can see we even have feed burner links, we have website links. So if we click on it, it'll take us to the actual NetTouch website. So that is what I wanted to show you today. We used shorthand PHP for each statements Now, if you want to, the main thing to take note of here is these parentheses, because if I did not have parentheses around them, we could not latch on to those values. So if I refresh the page, nothing would happen. Okay, so we would have to go back to like 0, refresh the page, view source, and you can see here href equals that. So you can see that's not really what we want. See, because it's returning href equals the whole tag, and we didn't want the whole tag. All we wanted was the value of the href attribute. So we have to wrap those within parentheses. That way we can latch onto them. Okay, so I know this has been a little bit sloppy because I didn't have notes, but I think it got the idea across. And remember, when a caret is outside of a character class, it just can designate the beginning and end of a string. But when it's inside of one, it means not. So something down here like not, and we could designate anything. So not, quote, plus means find one or more of any characters that's not an equal sign. All right, so that's been day 5. Feel free to leave any questions or comments that you might have. And if you did this on your own before watching this, I'd love to see how you accomplished it. Thanks so much, guys.